All right, awesome as usual. I always appreciate the fact that, thinking about what we're doing before we do it is always a benefit because a lot of the times our brain gets engaged when we are on the wrong side of things and we end up like a deer in the headlights. And it's getting a hold of that emotion, getting a hold of that. What do I do? What decision do I make? And how do I have calm and clarity? That comes from what you offered today. And as a freebie, I mean, you can't beat it. So go ahead. I'll give you another 10 seconds to write down his information, but then it's time to go forward with the next presenter. Guess who you got? You got me. Okay. You got me because I'm going to talk to you about the Forex market. Now, I've got a question for you, and I want you to type an answer in the chat box. If you had to gauge your experience level in the Forex market, 0 being I've never seen it before, and 10 being I'm trading it regular, okay? I want you to type that in the chat box so I know what your starting point is here. Because if we've got experienced people, then I can dive into some technique. If I've got new people at the Forex, I'm not saying you're a new trader, but if you're new to the Forex market, all right, then I've got to go through a little bit of groundwork so that you got an understanding of this, and maybe you'll see if this is something you want to add to your trading arsenal. But let's see where your starting point is. So go to the chat box, just 0 to 10. Okay, tell me what your experience level is. Dale's a 10, George is an 8, but Kevin's a 0. Okay, Lucky's the 3 to 5, so you dabbled with it a little bit. Noel's a 10. Okay, Abdullah's a 6, RK, brand new. Jim, brand new. Michael, brand new. Dave, a little bit of experience, but the other Dave, brand new. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do my best to lay a little bit of groundwork for the new people, but I'll get you up to speed so that even the experienced people can get a benefit out of this, because I'm going to tell you right now, gang, trading the Forex market has a lot of advantages to it. Okay, and when you learn a system of trading that you know works, that you're confident in, no matter when you open up your laptop, you can put some consistent money away. That's something that could certainly create a good foundation for your accounts, but maybe it'll take your accounts to the next level. And what we've been doing here at Market Traders Institute is teaching something called the Fibonacci system. I want you to just write down that word. If you're familiar with it, great. But if not, this is something you definitely have to see. Okay, because the goal is what? As a trader, consistency. All right, anybody can get on a webinar, show you a couple of good trades. Okay, that's not consistency. More often than not, that's luck. Okay, a couple of good trades is not a big deal. What consistency is whenever you open up your laptop, you got something that works so you can make money with it. Okay, that's what I want to talk to you about today. I'll talk to you about the Forex because there's a lot of money to be made here. Now, having said that, I do have to tell you, if you don't know what you're doing, you can lose your money. I got to start out by telling you that so that you know that what we're about to do here, I could be all excited about it, but it's still serious business. And I take it serious because you do. It's your money. Okay, if you're going to risk your money in the market, you're taking it seriously. If you want to gamble, you go to Vegas. You're not here to gamble. Okay, you're here to make an income off of this. Well, let me show you how to do that, right? And I'm excited about what I'm about to tell you here because a lot of times you get on an investor inspiration session, you got 4 or 5 people that have a lot of broad ideas, but what are you looking to do? You want to know what the heck's moving right now? How do I make some money at it right now? Okay, I can spend time on programs. I can spend time on different, vocabulary, but where's the money being made? Because if you see money being made, that creates its own enthusiasm. Right? You'll want to learn how to do it if you see money's being made at it. Well, what's happening with our group, and this is kind of a special thing, is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, our lead analyst here is getting on a webinar because of what's going on right now in the Great British Pound. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this. I think if you've been paying any kind of attention, you know that there's a lot of things happening in Great Britain. A couple weeks ago, it was just last week, actually, they had a vote on Patricia May's game plan for the Brexit. And what happened? Okay, big event happened. They voted her down. And the Great British Pound started to move, and it started to move huge. Now, why is that a big deal? I want to give you some context to this discussion. Okay, I actually want to go back in time a little bit to show you why this is a big deal now. Okay, by looking at what happened a couple of years ago. What happened a couple of years ago? Well, let's take a look at the Great British Pound. Okay, Great British Pound a couple of years ago, just before the big Brexit vote. What happened? Well, there's a little bit of uncertainty, but the odds were, right, even though everybody was going to go to the polls, whether to stay or leave, the odds were pretty good that Great Britain was going to stay in the European Union. I mean, they've been there for years, a couple of bumps in the road, but I mean, they were intertwined with the European economy. So the odds were very good that they were going to stay. Well, what happened? Well, the votes came out, okay, and they decided to leave. Well, what happened to the Great British Pound that very day? Boom, the Great British Pound fell out of bed. And if you knew how to take advantage of a move like that, you could have made some serious money. Now, most people say, well, yeah, okay, you know, looking in hindsight, it's always easy to do, right? You know, but you know, at the end of the day, what if you missed that? Well, then you didn't make any money off of it. And I think the mistake a lot of traders make is that once a move happens, right, on the day, they missed it, and now they just think to themselves, oh, you know, that's just another one gone by. But what ended up happening here, and this is really the crux of my discussion, what ended up happening here after the big day was that not only was more money, okay, laid out to be made, okay, but a lot more money was laid out to be made. Do you see this chart right here? The big move right here happened, but what came behind it, okay, what came behind it, that follow through, was twice as big. And I'm not just talking about one Great British Pound comparable currency. I'm talking about all of them. You see this right here? Here's the pound against the Canadian. There's the big move on the day. If you missed it, so what? Okay, that's the thing that provided you the direction so that you could have made double, triple, okay, the amount on the follow through. And it wasn't just with one or two of these, it was with all of these. See this right here? Money got doubled, even if you missed the first one. On the pound against the US dollar, your money got doubled and then some, even if you missed the first one. So with what's happening right now, okay, what's happening right now is we had the big move, the big vote, okay? And that's something that got our attention, because when we start to look for this follow through off of the big move, you want to know how much room is in here? Take a look, okay? The amount of room that's in here just to test the old high, let's see, from 192 up to 204, that's 1,200 pips. Now, what does that mean? Well, 1,200 pips in the currency market, if you're trading just one lot of currency, okay, you could do that with a couple of $1,000s of your own money, that's a $12,000 opportunity. Okay, well, anybody can speculate. Yeah, you're probably right. But let's just go ahead and look back at this same chart. Is there really room for this thing to go up? Well, there's the last Brexit move. Okay, we've recovered from that because why? Now we've turned the tables back. We turned the tables from leave to guess what, right? We ain't leaving. And look at how high this thing has been. Not 204. How about 244? So that's another 440 or 4,000 pips, another $40,000. I'm trying to show you something that's conservative here, okay, in terms of opportunity. But all we're looking for is the follow through on this move. And when we start to talk about the amount of pips that are available in something like this, this is why we're getting on a webinar tomorrow night with our lead analysts, okay, because we're putting a game plan together for the people that we're working with so that they can trade this, so they can capture some money on the follow through. Does that make sense? And we're talking about between 7,000 and 13,000 pips, even at $1 a pip. That's you know, between $7,000 and $13,000. And when it comes to the way we support people that work with us, this is it. Okay, so if that's something that you're thinking, well, I might want to be a part of that, write down the time. Okay, because if you can spare an hour tomorrow, I'm going to tell you that that's an hour that'll probably be worth your while. Plus, it'll give you a sample of what we're all about, and it'll give you a game plan. Okay, you want to see how money's being made now. Okay, you got to get out there and you got to put a little time aside to do it. It's not going to be for everybody. Okay, might not be for you. You might not have any interest in the Forex market at all. But if I can show you how to make $10,000, okay, then you're at least going to say, okay, I've learned something. If I can put that money in your pocket, well, then that's going to be some valuable time. And it's not something that's a fluke. Look, the last time this happened, okay, this is a trading run from 2016. We actually did it. Okay, this is third-party verified stuff. A couple of days after the big move, 9,800 pips. A couple of weeks after the big move, another 14,000 pips. Okay, $1 a pip, that's $14,000. $10 a pip, it's 140 grand. Okay, it's not happening next week or next month. It's happening now. Okay, and we've got students here that do this. Okay, they're people like you. They didn't know about the Forex, but they came to us and said, well, show me how to do it. Help me out. And that's what we did. Kathy is no different than you, but she now knows how to do this, so she can send us a trade run that looks like this. That's awesome. That's what you want your trade run to look like. Okay, she doesn't have a Bachelor of Economics. She just knows how to do what I'm about to show you. Okay, same. Yeah, and Tyson, he sent this out the other day. Okay, because we're doing this now. Is it dynamic? Of course it is. Are there entries and exits? Of course there are. But as long as we've got this prevailing direction, look what happens. Okay, we traded this. This is not ancient. This is day before yesterday. Okay, this is on the pound against the New Zealand dollar. 416 pips captured. If you did this in a matter of a few hours, okay, you're talking about, or a couple of days, as it were, you're talking about making a couple of hundred or a couple of $1,000. Okay, this is how we do it here. And the fact is, if that's something you want to do, come on and do it. Okay, I'm not going to tell you we're going to win every trade. Here's another person that posted this, and I like this because, this again is something that's fresh material. This is fresh confirmation for somebody like you that's wondering if what we do here works. Because I think a lot of times you're wondering, who the heck should I listen to? Everybody says their thing is the greatest, right? Who should I be listening to? Well, you want to see some proof, and not something from 2 years ago. You want to see something from, day before yesterday. Well, that's what this is. Okay. And he said, I made another 1,000 pips after an initial move of 4,500. So this is somebody that's making some money. Okay. And again, it's current information. He doesn't win every time, but when you control the loss, okay, and you put yourself in a position for those winners, and you got more winners than you got losers, the math works. That's what we're all trying to do. Okay, we're trying to get the math to work. Well, that's pretty simple. If you got more winners than losers, your winners are bigger than your losers, you're guaranteed to have a profit. If I can show you how to do that, I can help you. So if you want to do that, you got to let me know. Okay, if you can spare an hour, what you can do is just go right to that same chat box you checked in with. And if you want to see what it's sort of like to be a trader with our group, how would I give you an opportunity to do that? Just go in the chat box if that sounds like something you want to do. Okay, and give me a good way to reach you. So at the end of our session, I can reach out to you. I'll have one of my traders reach out to you. We'll give you the special username and password sort of thing so you can get into a session like that. You want the information on that? You got to let me know that. Okay, not everybody's going to type in their phone number. I realize that. Some of you are like, you want my phone number? I mean, really? I just got here. I get it. Okay, but if you're seeing that as an opportunity, let me know, because we're going live with our group. Okay, 30,000 people are part of our group around the world. It's a really neat group. And the reason they do this is because we get results for them, period. Okay, you want to see some results before you make big commitments, you dip your toe in the water, you check things out. If that's something you want to do, type a good way for me to reach you, a good phone number in that chat box. Okay, a lot of you are doing that right now, which is perfect. Not everybody's going to do that right away because you just got here and you're thinking, well, I don't even know the first thing about this. Well, then spend a little time with me so I can show it to you, because this is what I do. This is what I trade. Okay, this is something that I've been able to not only trade and make a living for at myself, okay, but they've sent me around the world to show it to people because I'm good at it. Okay, I've been trading markets 25 years, and you can see right there that I've traded all of them, and I know the difference between the markets, gang. And you know what you got to do? You got to find the market that gives you the best chance to make the money. Well, in my experience, this is it. Okay, the reason I trade the Forex is exclusively now. I could trade whatever I want. Okay, but I trade the Forex because it gives me all the advantages. And when you see these advantages, you know what you're going to tell yourself? Not only can you do it, but you probably should be. All right, doing it. And that's what I want to show you here today, right here from the Market Traders Institute. All right, a lot of you have heard of our group. Just to give you a little background real quickly, we've been doing this 24 years. Okay, we got a formula that works because we know what traders need. Okay, there's three important parts to it. Number one, you got to know what you're doing. Well, with our group, we do it a little different. Before you go risking even a dime of your money, we put you through 20 hours of instruction so you know what the heck you're doing before you go mortgaging your house. You see what I'm saying? That's a hallmark of what we do here. We also got software so you can see what you're doing. That's the key. We're in a software world. All right, in a software world, you use software to help you do what? Get clarity and gain speed. Okay, you got a piece of software that works, it's going to help you. Well, we developed a piece here that we use. Okay, we use it ourselves as traders. The benefit to the people that work with us, they use it too. And we all get to sort of sing off the same page of music when we get into sessions like we're going to get into tomorrow. And really, that's the difference here. Okay, we don't just give you a stack of books, right, and a fancy piece of software and say, red light, green light, ready to go, right? That's not our thing. A lot of other groups do that. What we do is help you. Right? With our mentorship, you get to come into our trading room, look over our shoulder, mirror match what we do, put our experience to your advantage. That's usually the way to shorten time. Okay, you want to shorten up time. You don't want to make money in 6 months. You don't want to make money next year. You want to make it today. Well, if you got people that are making it today and they can show you how, I mean, that's really the equation that you're going to try to capture. Okay, we get results at this. We're good at it. Inc. Magazine has us in there 4 years in a row. Okay, we're a fast growing company because when people get a good result, they go tell a couple of friends. And it's gotten to the point now that 30,000 of them are friends of ours. So if we're going to dive into this and you're really going to get a flavor of the Forex, I got to give you our agenda. Okay, and it's a pretty deep agenda. Well, we already did the first part. Okay, where it showed you who we're about, so we can check that one off. But then I'm going to show you the market. I'm going to show you that cool piece of software, and I'm going to show you a formula for trading. Okay, you got to write the word formula down because successful trading isn't a secret. Too many people say, you know, come to the webinar and learn the big secret, right? Isn't that crazy? I'm tired of that message because it's not a secret. If you got the right formula, something that works, okay, then you're going to be able to make some money at this. Well, I'll show you our formula. Okay, and as I'm going through it, you got to listen carefully because that's going to be your biggest takeaway from our visit here. Okay, I'll show you the formula. You're going to know exactly what to do, and I'll get you prepared to trade with us tomorrow. You got to learn a couple of things. We talk a little different. You got to be prepared to do that. Okay, you're prepared. There's an opportunity. Okay, that's the key. Preparation beats opportunity. Let me show you how to do it so you're ready for tomorrow night. I'll show you how to put the pieces together right now. I'll show you how to do it risk-free to you financially. So let's dive right into it because the Forex has all the advantages. Okay, what's the first advantage? Leverage. Write that down. This is a leverage market. It means you don't need a lot of money to do it. That's one of the best parts about this. You got a couple of $100? I'll show you how to make some noise. Got a couple of $1,000? Great. That's more than you're probably going to need. Okay, this is a leverage market, so you don't have to come with a lot of capital. Stock market, you got to come with a lot of capital. You want to buy 100 shares of Apple, you got to have 15 grand. Okay, you want to buy 100 shares of Nike, you got to have 8 grand. Right? A lot of people want to trade stock, but they just don't have the capital to do it. It's hard to make money on a 100-share position. You know what I'm talking about. Let me find a leverage market so I get a lot of bang for my buck. This is it, and it's liquid. It's the most liquid market on the planet, which means what? You can get in and out easy, okay? And that's going to lower your risk. It's going to lower your cost also. That's a massive advantage. Plus, it's flexible. Okay, what do I mean by this? This is a 24-hour market. Okay, it's not open a couple hours a day like the stock market. Right? This is a market that's open round the clock, Sunday to Friday. Now you get Saturday off, okay? But on Sunday, you open up your laptop, the market's going to be waiting for you. Anytime you open up your laptop during the week, 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock at night, I'm in Australia, I'm in London, doesn't matter. This market's open. So you're going to be able to create an opportunity without being tied to somebody else's schedule. That's a massive advantage of trading the Forex, and it's the biggest market in the world. Okay, it's not even close when you're talking about opportunity. This is a $5 trillion a day situation. Okay, now I'm not saying you're going to need to make $5 trillion a day to be happy, right? Maybe you make 4. That'll get it done. But the point I'm trying to make is the money that you're looking for the big pile of money. You're looking for the big opportunity. This is it. Okay, because this is all the money in the world. Okay, you found the big pile of money. So now what you got to do is put a little of that money in your column. Well, I'll show you how to do that without a lot of risk. Okay, this is not gambling. If you want to gamble, you go to Vegas. Hell, I'll go with you. All right, we'll see a show for the amount of risk we're going to take there. That's something you want to do. But this isn't gambling. This is an income exercise. Okay, you got to make sure it makes sense. You got to have limited risk because you don't want to lose your money. Hell, I don't want to lose my money. Okay. This market gives me an opportunity to limit my risk. And the fact is, it's not hard to understand. What do I mean? You don't have to know 1,000 companies. You don't have to know a whole new vocabulary. If you know 8 currencies, you're halfway there. Now, what I got to do is show you how to put it together so you can make some money off of these. Okay, if you don't know these offhand, you got to write them down. Okay, but there's only 8 of them. So this is the whole list, but there's a lot of opportunity in this list. In fact, here, write them down. Dollar, Canadian, Euro, Pound, Yen, Franc, Aussie, Kiwi. Okay, that's your whole list. Now you just got to put it together for you. And for my new people, listen carefully. If you got experience, you can just check my facts here, make sure I got this detail right. Okay, but when you're talking about trading currencies, it's actually something that you've probably seen before because currencies trade one against the other. Now, when a currency trades in a pair, one against the other, it's always followed by a price called the exchange rate. Now, most of you know what that is because you've been to the airport, right? You've been to the currency window. When you see that information, you know what it means. It means you can walk up to the window and exchange currency. You give them a euro, they'll give you back the right amount of dollars. That's a familiar scenario. Well, if you know how that works, now you're really close because all we do as currency traders is we trade that number. Okay, that number's constantly going up and down. That's our price. Well, whether it goes up or down, we can make money at this. Now, how does it work? Well, most people talk about currencies and prices in dollars and cents. We talk a little bit different. As currency traders, we look a little further to the right to the last 2 decimal places. Those have a special name. Those are called the pips. You heard me use that word a couple of times, right? Well, write this down. PIP stands for price interest point. Tiny movements in the exchange rate are what we as traders are looking to capture. So if you're going to write something down, this is the goal of the exercise. We're looking to capture pips. The more pips you get, the more money you make. Okay. And it's not that hard to figure this out. In fact, here, let's just do a walkthrough so you can understand where the pips come from. Let's just pick a currency pair. All right. We'll take an easy one. Let's take the euro and the US dollar. Now, let's say our starting point, we check our chart. We're trading at 114.05. That's simple enough. Now, during the day, we might have ourselves a nice strong euro, or we might have ourselves a nice weak dollar. Well, in either case, what's that going to do to my little seesaw? It's going to move my little seesaw. In this case, it'll move it higher. Well, at the same time, what happens? My exchange rate goes higher. So if it goes like it is here from 114.05 up to 114.95, that's a difference of 90 pips. Do you see that? There they are at the 3rd and 4th decimal place. Okay, that's where the pips are, so now you know where to find them. So what do you have to do now? You got to go capture them. Well, how do you do that? Here's your first step. You got to open up a Forex trading account. Okay, you got to open a Forex trading account. This is going to be your first step. You can do this today. You got to open that with a Forex broker. Now, we're not a Forex broker, so you're not going to open an account with us. Okay, we're going to teach you how to do it. You're going to come trade with us, which is awesome. Okay, but we're not going to hold any of your money. That's not what we do. Having said that, you still got to open an account if you're going to trade the Forex. You want to open a futures account to trade the futures? You want to open a stock account to trade stocks? You got to open a Forex account to trade Forex. Now, everybody asks me, where do I look to open one? Well, here, let me show you. This will take a couple of minutes of your time if you want to do this. Okay, if you want to open up a Forex account, here's what you can do. It'll take you 5 minutes. You go to forex.com. Okay, this is the biggest broker in the world. Okay, you want to open an account? What you do? See, trade Brexit volatility. Why do you think we're doing this? See that? It's happening now. Big British flag. Okay, you don't want to miss this. But to do it, you got to open an account. So you click on open an account. Okay, you click on open an account. They're going to ask you for some basic information. Most important question, where are you? Right? You got to let them know where you are, so they know how you're going to be making your deposits or withdrawals, right? My people in Edmonton, you're going to be making your deposits in Canadian. But if you're in Bend, Oregon, you're going to be making them in dollars. You see what I mean? But here's the beauty of the Forex. Doesn't matter where you live. You could live in Australia, Argentina, you can trade the Forex. You could live in Ecuador or Estonia, you can trade the Forex. From A to Z, Montenegro, Saudi Arabia, Uganda, Zambia. Okay, that's the best part. No matter where you live, okay, no matter where you are, this is something you can do. To open an account, you give them some basic information. Okay, you can have it open in 5 minutes. Now, you don't have to do it with Forex.com. You can do it with another group, all right? You can do it with this group, Oanda. All right, who's Oanda? Well, Oanda is another Forex broker. I happen to have an account with this group. You want to know why? Because it says you can sign up in a couple of minutes. Okay, they mean it. All you have to do is come up here. Okay, you click on open an account. Hold on a second. Open an account. Now watch, you got to make a decision today on this. What kind of account do you want to open? You want to trade some real money? Open a live account. Put a few dollars in it. You can do it today. If you're not ready to do that, you're brand new, it's okay. You're still going to open an account, but you're going to open a practice account, demo account. All right, where you're not risking your own money, they'll give you some money to play with. How much? They'll give you $50,000 to play with. Okay, now it's not real money, but it's real time. It's a real-time account. You got real-time charts. You keep score in real time, but it'll give you a chance to sort of dip your toe in the water, get your feet wet, see if it's something you even want to do. You want to see what it looks like? Here, I'll show you. Here's an Oanda account. See this? This is happening while I'm talking. Okay, it's a live account. You got your currencies right over here. You got a nice chart you can look at. Up here, you got a place you can keep score. Okay, what do you got over here? A buy button and a sell button. You understand this? You click on one of those, you can fill out your order ticket. It should look familiar enough to you. I'm going to guess that a couple of practice trades, you're going to have the mechanics of this down. Now, this isn't a practice account. If it was, it would say practice. This is a live account. So this is one that I'm using as a demonstration. I opened this account with some new people, right, a couple of weeks ago with $500. Okay, why'd you do that? Just to show them, right, the power of the market. Well, what do? We've doubled our money in a couple of weeks. Okay, we've done that because why? We've been consistent. You see this? Now, I'm not going to tell you I win every time. I don't win every time. But look at this. So when my losses are small and controlled, right, and I got bigger winners and there's more of those, you can't help but make money at it. Okay, this is something that I like showing people, because if I can show you how to make money on $500, I can show you how to make it on 500,000. Okay, this is what you're going to do. So if you can do that, if you can handle at least visiting a website or two, do me a favor, go to the chat box, just type the letter Y or the word yes. Type the letter Y if you're keeping up with me. Okay, I know I'm going quickly. I have to. I only got a limited amount of time. All right, but the fact of the matter is, I want to know you're keeping up so I can go on with some more information. Have you got it so far? Type yes in the chat box. Good. Look at that. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of investors that are inspired to learn something today. All right. At the very least, open a practice account today, mess with it the rest of the week, over the weekend. Okay. See if it's something you want to do. But the power of the market, right? The power of this market is something that I think has got to impress you all by itself, because really it's going to give you the best chance to make the money. All those advantages are built into it. Now, as a trader, you're not going to do anything super complicated. Okay, how do you make money at this, right? Well, you buy low and you sell high. Well, okay, that's easy enough for me to say, but most people want to know how the heck you make money off something that moves less than a penny. Well, that's going to depend on you, because as a trader, you're the one that's going to determine, okay, a lot of things here. Based on how confident you are, you're going to determine how much money you put in, but you're also going to determine how much money you take out. Now, how does that work? Well, you can trade this at different levels. You can trade what's called a micro lot, a mini lot, or a standard lot of currency. Write those down. These are different levels of investment. Now, where do you start? You start small because you want to prove that things work. Well, if you're starting small in this market, you need $20 to do it. A micro lot trade's a $20 trade. Okay, it's a $20 investment. Everybody says, well, what can I do with that? I can't retire off a $20 account. You're right, but that's not the point of it. The point of starting small is to show yourself that, number one, things work. Number two, you can do it. And once you see that stuff come together, you step up a little bit. Okay, then what's going to happen? You're going to be trading mini lots. This is where things sort of can become more substantial. Now, what do you need for that? Just $200. Still not a lot of money. That's the best part about this. You don't need a lot of money to do it. You slide a couple of hundred over from your stock account. Wait till you see what you can do with a couple of $100 trading mini lots. Okay, but the one I want you to circle is down at the bottom, because that's where you want to get to. You want to get to the point where you're trading standard lots, because that's when this can sort of balloon, all right, and change your financial situation. All right, I don't know where you fit here. You get to decide that, but I know you fit somewhere. So now it's a matter of, okay, where does the money come from? Well, it comes from the pips. Okay, when you trade micro lots, the pips are worth 10 cents a piece. So you make 90 pips, you make $9 on 20, 45%. Nice return. Okay, do that once, that's going to excite you. Keep doing it. What's going to happen? What if you had a formula where you could keep making 40% at a time? Your account's going to grow. You understand this? Now, let's say you get to the point where you're trading mini lots. If you got $200, you're going to do the same trade. But because you risk a little more, you get to take out a little more. The same 90 pips would be worth 90 bucks. And that's when you're going to start to see that you can get somewhere. Okay. But when you're getting to the point where you're trading standard lots, that's where things get exciting, because the pips are worth $10 each. What does that mean? On 2,000 bucks, okay, you can make $900. That's why people come to the Forex, because it doesn't take a lot of money to make a lot of money. And I don't care who you are, okay? If you make yourself 900 bucks, okay, you do that a couple of times a week, you're making $1,800 a week. That's serious money. That's $90,000 a year. If I can show you how to do that, we've done something here. On a $2,000 account, Joe, can that really happen? Let me show it to you. I know what you're thinking. You got the same questions I had. How often do those 90 pip ones happen? They're happening now. Okay, they happen in every currency every day. And you don't have to get them all. You got to get one. I can show you how to do it. Okay, and what's the other question? Well, what's the downside? Right? Any clown can get on a webinar and show me $900. Big deal, right? What's the downside? Well, the downside is protected by the formula. And that's what you got to see right now. So we're going to go live so I can show it to you. Okay, because things are happening right now. The best thing I can do for you today is show you what we're about, and then you get to decide, okay, if it's something you want to do. I'm not going to convince you of anything. Okay, that's not my job. My job is to show it to you. If you want to give it a shot, you want to come to the thing tomorrow night, you want to see how we apply it, let me get you prepared to do it, because things are on the move. Okay, and you're going to be using charts because why? Because that's what traders do. So the chart platform we use is called Ultimate Charting. Now watch this. Okay, we put this together. We put about $1 million into this tool because this is what we wanted. We wanted the best tool we could possibly come up with. Okay, our traders, right, that work with us, people like you that are trading at their kitchen table, they get the benefit of being able to use the same tool. We like that they use the same tool, because when you start getting people on different platforms, right, then all of a sudden things get confused. We don't want confusion. We don't have time for confusion. Okay, the market moves too quick. So we make sure everybody's on the same page. That's what you're going to end up using yourself. All right, and if you like the way it works, I'll let you put it on your desk today and give it a shot before you have to decide if you want to, keep it. I'll let you decide if it's something you even want to try. But no matter what currency you're looking at, okay, we could look at the euro or the New Zealand dollar, right? And it doesn't matter what currency you're looking at, okay? Or what time frame, right? You want to be a day trader, couple hour charts, you want to look at daily charts, you want to look at charts in a few minutes, doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter, because this chart works regardless to answer the three big questions that you got to answer as a trader. Okay, what are your three biggest questions that you've got to answer? You've got to know something before you go risking your money. You've got to know three things. Okay, what do you got to know? First, which way are we going? Which way is the market going? You got to know that. If you don't know that, you're guessing. Okay, we don't guess. It's too important. We can't guess with our kids' college fund. Okay, we can't guess with our retirement. Okay, so you got to know which way the market's going, or else you're just guessing. Well, this will show you which way it's going. Okay, that's going to give you a massive advantage. But then it goes further. It also shows you where and why you're going to get in, right? Then it shows you where and why you're going to get out. Okay, and it does all that before you risk your money. Before you risk your money, this does all of that. Now, how does it work? Why does it work? Okay, why is this any better than anybody else's? That's the best question you could ask, because I know you've seen other software. And everybody wants to show you the big bells and whistles and the red light and the green light. And you're wondering what makes this better than anything else. There's an answer for that. What makes this work, okay, what I'm going to show you better than anything else, is the way the Forex itself works. Now, what do I mean? Forex is different. Okay, I've been saying that since the beginning. Okay, it's what makes it different that's going to work to your advantage. Because why? New people, write this down. The Forex is different because it's the only market that repeats itself. Write this down. The Forex does the same thing over and over and over. And because it does the same thing over and over and over, listen, once you learn what that thing is and you can make money at it once, all that's going to happen is the Forex is going to repeat itself. It's going to do the same thing, and you'll be able to make money at it again and again and again. That's how you develop consistency. Well, the Forex does most of the work for you. How does it work? Well, this market develops a pattern. Now, we're going to read the pattern on the chart using the candlesticks. Okay, most of you know what candlesticks are, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that. But what you need to know when you're looking at a candlestick chart, okay, and you can see right here, this is the New Zealand dollar on the one-day candlestick chart. Okay, when you start putting the candles together, what emerges is a pattern. Okay, sometimes you see the market going up, of course, but it doesn't just go straight up. It goes up for a while. Then what happens? Well, then the sellers take over and it pulls back down. That's the blue candles. Then what happens? The market goes up for a while. Then what happens? The market pulls back down. So you've seen that before. Okay, the market never goes straight up or down. It moves in these waves. It moves in a pattern. Well, the way the Forex moves, write this down, is it always moves in an ABCD pattern. Okay, write that down, an ABCD pattern. This is how it works. Okay, everybody says, show me how it all works. Well, this is it. Okay, the market starts at a low price. That's the beginning of the pattern. Then the market does what? It rallies to a high price. That's the next part of the pattern. So I've just labeled the first two parts, low price A, high price B. Okay, stay with me. What happens when you get to B? The market stops going up and it pulls back down. Well, that low price gets a label also. That's letter C. And what happens after that? The market rallies to this high price. That's the end of the pattern. That's letter D. So I just showed you a complete pattern, ABCD. Okay, ABCD is a complete pattern in the Forex. But now that pattern is over. What happens after that, this is the best part, is that all that happens is the Forex does the same thing. It does another one of these ABCD patterns, except now instead of going up, it's going down. Stay with me. Where does it start? Right where the other one ended. That high price is my new letter A. What happens next? The market pulls back down to a low price. That's my new letter B. Then what? The market rallies to a high price. That's my new letter C. And then what? We fall apart down to a low price. That's letter D. That's the end of that pattern. And what happens next? You can see it. We start it all over again. Okay. Now you're not an expert yet, but you're close. Okay, I know you can see the patterns, A, B, C, D. Okay, well, if you can see those, you're 90% of the way there, because these patterns, this is the most important part, they're not random. Okay, these patterns are not random. What are they? They're very natural. Okay, write this down. They're repeatable. They happen over and over again. But here's my question for you right now. Important question. What if these patterns were predictable? Do you think you might be able to make money if there was a pattern in the market that was predictable? Because they asked me the same question. I laughed. I said, of course, if you know which way you're going, right, then you'll be able to make some money at it. Well, they said, what if you didn't just know which way you were going? What if you also knew how far you were going to go before it happened? Do you think you could make money with that? And I said, yeah, anybody can make money with that. Well, they said, Joe, there's a tool built in here that does all that. And we're going to show it to you. Well, I'm going to just show you what they showed me. Okay, the tool that's built in here, listen carefully, that does all this, shows you which way and how far. Okay, before it happens, write this down. It's called the Fibonacci tool. Fibonacci. I knew he was going to talk about that. Of course I am. This is the foundation of the whole thing. Write this down. The Fibonacci tool is based on something called the Fibonacci sequence. Now, some of you know what that is. Okay, but a lot of you are brand new. You already told me that. So I got to tell you what the Fibonacci is about. I'll do it very quickly. All right, we'll Google this together because you would Google it anyway. Fibonacci. There he is. He's an Italian mathematician. Okay, now what made him very famous was that he discovered a set of numbers called the Fibonacci sequence. Write that down. He discovered this sequence of numbers that could be used to measure, listen to this, everything. No kidding? Yeah, if you keep looking this up, okay, you're going to find that they call this Fibonacci sequence, write this down, nature's numbering system, okay? Because what Fibonacci figured out was that everything can be measured by these numbers because everything follows a natural and, keyword, predictable pattern. Okay, I'll show you what I mean. Okay, let's just take a look around and see what follows a natural pattern. Well, let's look at a flower. Okay, if I'm looking at a flower, does that look like it grows randomly? No. How does it grow? Well, it grows in a perfect center, and then the petals grow around it in a perfect shape. If a flower was random, it would look all cockeyed. But instead, it grows perfectly in a perfect pattern. Now, how many petals are on the flower? 21 petals are on that flower. You see the number 21? Take a look. That happens to be a Fibonacci number. You know why? Because every flower grows to either 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, or 34 petals. No kidding. Go pick a flower, count the petals. You'll see what I'm talking about. The same thing occurs, though, in the way we build things. Okay, flight of stairs. The same thing occurs in the shape of our bodies. Every part of your body follows a Fibonacci pattern. Go look in the mirror. Take a look at your ears. It's shaped like a Fibonacci. Look at your fingertip. Okay, your fingerprint is shaped like a Fibonacci. Look at a tree. If you think I'm kidding, a tree grows just like this. A trunk, 2 branches, 3 branches, 5, 8, 13. You see that? Why does a tree grow like that? Because that is the Fibonacci pattern. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. You see what I'm talking about? It works on everything because everything follows a pattern. Well, what's that got to do with the Forex? You knew I was going to get to that. It's got everything to do with this because the people around here said, whoa, whoa, whoa. We're following a pattern. That's obvious. What if it's a predictable pattern? What if it's measurable? What if this is doing that Fibonacci thing? In a financial market, if you can find something like that, you can make a lot of money. Well, the people around here, they discovered that this works. They made a couple of $1 million off of it. People came to them and said, how'd you do it? They said, it's the Fibonacci. And they showed it to those people, and they said, holy cow, this works, and they told a couple of friends of theirs. You understand how we grew? We just keep showing people this because it works, and you're going to be able to make it work. I'll show you how. All you got to do is find the pattern. Write this down, okay? You got to pull up a chart, and you got to find the pattern. How do you do it? Okay, you look for the low prices and the high prices and what we call the U-turns. Now, come on, write some things down. I told you you'd be writing fast and furious, but you got to answer the 3 big questions, right? Which way we going? How do I get in? How do I get out? Find the pattern, okay? You got to look for the U-turns. Now, what's that? A U-turn is when you look at the candles and it makes a U shape. The low price, right, is the bottom of that U shape. So if you find a U-turn, you can find the beginning of the pattern, okay? There's letter A. What do you look for next? The next U-turn. You see this? It's upside down, but that's the next U-turn. Now you got what? You got high price, letter B. So now the pattern is starting to take shape. What happens next? Okay, the market makes another U-turn. You see that? So if you can see the U-turns on a chart, you can find the pattern. All you got to do now is figure out if this is really natural and predictable. Okay, well, how do you do that? Watch this, I'll show it to you. Okay, let me clean it up so you can see it. You want to know if this pattern right here that you're looking at, is that really natural and predictable? Well, here's how you figure that out. You come up here to the Fibonacci tool. Now that's right up here behind this menu. Pay attention, because if you get this on your desk today, you're going to want to know where to look. Okay, you click on that. First thing you see is our tool that we developed, the MTI Fibonacci tool. Nobody else has this. We developed this. Okay, when you click on that, here's what happens. Your cursor turns into a pencil. You take your pencil over to this pattern that you found, and you draw a line from A to B. Now look at what happens when you did that. Okay, you draw the line from A to B, this Fibonacci tool appears. Okay, there it is, right? It looks like a step ladder. It's sort of color-coded. Okay, it looks complicated. It's not. What are those numbers? Those are the Fibonacci numbers. Okay, but the tool's going to do all the work for you. Here's how it works. When you draw the line from A to B, listen carefully. What you're doing is measuring the first part of the pattern. But when you get to letter B, what happens? The market stops going up. It pulls back down. You've seen that before. Nothing ever goes straight up. It goes up for a while, pulls back down. Well, that's the next part of the pattern. The market pulls back down till it hits a low price. Then what? Then it makes another U-turn. Well, what you got to notice as the trader is where that low price is. You've got to notice how that low price lines up with one of these Fibonacci numbers. That's going to be important. Why? Because, listen, some people call these Fibonacci numbers energy levels. Okay, I call them just a little different. I call them trampolines because of what they do to the price. Now, watch what I mean by this. Watch this. Okay, the market's pulled back down to this low price, right? As soon as it got there, it stopped going down. When it lined up with one of these Fibonacci numbers, one of these energy levels, I call it a trampoline. Because what happens when you jump on a trampoline? You go bouncing off of it in the other direction, right? Look what happens to the price of the currency. You hit that trampoline, you go bouncing off in the other direction. What's happening here is the market's got energy now to the upside, natural energy to the upside. Want me to keep it simple for you? Right here, the market's going up. And if that's what you knew, if you knew that it was, you'd know what to do, right? Buy low, sell high. That just makes sense. If you knew the market was going up, you'd know what to do. And that gives you a huge advantage. But here's the best part of this. Okay, not only will this show you the market's going up, it'll show you how far you're going to go up. How does it do that? It's easy. All you got to do is match the color of the trampoline you're bouncing off down here with the same color up here. Listen carefully. That'll tell you how far you're going to go. I'll say it again. If you want to know where the end of the pattern is, right, you got A, B, and C. If you want to know where letter D is, you got to match the color down here that you're bouncing off with the color up here. It'll tell you where letter D is. So let's see if that works. Okay, you got letter C. It's bouncing off a red line, a red Fibonacci, a red trampoline, right? You can see that it's going up, but what did I tell you? It's not done going up till it gets all the way up here to this red price. You want to see if that works? Take a look. It goes right to it. There's letter D. Why? Why did it go right to letter D? Because that's what it's supposed to do. Because this is not random. This is a natural and predictable Fibonacci pattern. The market bounced from red to red, A, B, C. You knew that. You knew where letter D was. You buy low, you sell high. And that means this right here is money to be made. Do you see that? When I first saw that, I was on the edge of my seat. But you know what I told them? Show it to me again. You know why? Because anybody can show you something once, right? Oh, they go cherry pick a chart. Hey, wait till you see this, right? You want to know that this works over and over again. Well, the beauty of this, gang, is all that's going to happen is the same thing, because the Forex is going to do this same thing over and over again. You want to see if it works? Watch. We already found another pattern, right? We got A, B, C, D. How'd you find the pattern? We found the U-turns. U-turn A, U-turn B, U-turn C. Do you see that? Okay. What you want to know is this really a not random, but a natural pattern? What you have to do is draw that same line. Okay. Draw that same line from A to B. Now you got a new pattern. Okay, this one over here, hold on, get rid of this word so you can see it clearly. Okay, this pattern back here is over. Okay, this one back here. Now you got a new pattern. What do you see? The market came down to letter B, stopped going down till it rallied all the way up to this high price. Okay, that high price is letter C. How do you know that? Because then the market made a U-turn. Then the sellers took over. Okay, well, where was letter C? You can see it right here, lined right up with this red trampoline. And look at how that's almost a perfect triangle, okay? That's not a mistake. You're dealing with the mathematics of the universe here. This is how sort of the whole world fits together, okay? What you want to know, though, is does this thing really work? Well, you tell me if it works. If that thing goes to the red line, that means it works, right? Take a look where it goes. It goes right to it, A, B, C, D, okay? And it does this over and over again. Somebody just type, wow, right? That is a wow. That's awesome. And what I'm going to tell you is that's one of the most important things you are ever going to learn.
Okay, not because I'm teaching it to you, but because that's a fact. You got to know how markets work. That's it. Okay, so if that's all you take away from our time together, now the rest of this is going to be gravy. You understand that? The whole key is finding letter C. Listen carefully. Okay, the whole key is finding letter C, because why? You've got to see which trampoline you're bouncing off of. Okay, if you bounce off a red one, how does the tool work? You match the color, you go to the red line. But what if, we're going to do a bunch of these now. Okay, what if we see one where the market pulls back lower before it bounces? Well, if we see the U-turn happen down here, right, at this blue trampoline, the market's still going to go up, but it's only going to go to the blue line. Why? Because you got to match the color. It's still a Fibonacci sequence, okay? But if you bounce off of blue, you're going to go to blue. Everybody says, why? Why? You know what? You got to know how. Okay, the why part doesn't matter. It's a Fibonacci sequence. You're trying to find the secret sauce of the universe. How about you just know that it works? Well, how do I know that? We're going to do a bunch of these. The whole key is you got to know the colors. Okay, if you bounce off a red, you're going to red. You bounce off a blue, you're going to blue. You probably already figured out the last one. If letter C is down here at the green line, guess what that means? Market's still going up, but it's only going to go to green. So to keep things simple using this tool, listen carefully. Just match the color. Red goes to red. Okay, blue goes to blue. Okay, green goes to green. Why is he talking so fast? Because I'm running out of time, but I got to show you how to make money with it. It's not just enough to know something. Okay, I know what to do. That doesn't mean anything. Then you got to translate that into a money-making exercise, or else it's pointless. Okay, I got a lot of smart people that know all the details. They can't make 10 cents because they don't know how to apply it. But what you're going to do is get this on your desk, and you're going to say, okay, what did Joe tell me to do? What Joe told me to do was get out there and find the pattern. Remember that? What do you got to look for? U-turns, low prices and high prices. Don't tell me you can't do it. Okay, there's a U-turn, low price. There's a U-turn, high price. There's a U-turn. You see that? Now it's coming alive. Okay, what you've just found is the pattern. What you got to know is, where the heck is it going? Well, if I've got A, B, and C, I need to find letter D. Okay, where is it? It's up here somewhere. Okay, but you don't want to guess. You want to know where it's at. So what you do is the same thing I showed you. You click on the Fibonacci tool. You come down here, draw your line from A to B. Now what do you got? Now you can see the pattern. Where's letter C? Here, I'll blow it up just a little bit. Okay, letter C is right down here, lined up with what? Lined up with this red trampoline. Well, if it works, right, the way that I said, that means we're going to do what? Not just go up, but we're going to keep going up till we hit the red line. That's where letter D is. So let me go ahead and label that. Okay, I'm going to label it not D, though, future D, because it hasn't happened yet. Okay, but if it works the way that I said, okay, that means that's where we're going. Well, how much is that worth? Well, you want to know that because that's the opportunity. Okay, what's our starting point? Top of this candle. Okay, close of that candle is what price? Here we go, 71.83. Okay, that's our starting point. Well, where's our ending point? Well, it's at this red line, and that gives you the price right there. See that 74.07? Let me get a calculator. Watch this. 74.07 is where we're going. Where's my calculator? Hold on. Here it is. Okay, there's my calculator. Okay, 74.07 is where we're going if this works. 71.83 is where we are. So now you're looking at 224 pips of opportunity. So what do you have to do with that? You've got to decide that, not me. You've got to decide what to do with this. Okay, how's that based on how confident you are? How confident are you? Not very confident. Why not? Because you've only been here 45 minutes with me, right? You've got to be confident enough to give it a shot, though. So what are you going to do? Well, if you're not confident, do it in a practice account. You don't risk any money. But if you see it work, you're going to do it again to see if it works again and again and again. Then you're going to do what? You're going to say, okay, now I got to dip my toe in the water. Don't mortgage your house yet. Do a micro lot. But if you do a micro lot trade, it's a $20 situation. If you lose $20, that's not going to break you. But if it works the way I said, you make 10 cents a pip. You double your money. Okay, that's not bad. What if you do it as a mini lot? $200 at risk, even if you lose it. Okay, it's not going to stick you under a bridge somewhere. But if it works, you get your $200 back plus $1 a pip, $224. Why did I tell you? Circle standard lots on your paper, because at $10 a pip, we're having a $2,000 conversation. That's the one you came here to have anyway. You didn't come here to learn how to make nickels and dimes today. You want to learn how to make serious money. Well, this is serious money no matter how you look at it, because it's 112% rate of return, 100% return on investment. What you got to know is, does that work? Okay, well, you've seen it work a couple of times. Guess what you got to do to know if it works? You got to push the button. Do we know which way we're going? Yes, we're going up. You can see that with your own eyes. Okay. What do you do when the market's going up? You buy it. All right. What do you do after the market goes up? Well, when it finishes this pattern, you're going to sell it. Now that sounds pretty simple. Okay. Mechanically, it couldn't be any simpler. You want to see the mechanics of this? When it's time to buy, you click on the trading button, you click on buy, you link that broker account right to this. You do everything off of one screen. Okay. You go ahead and you say, okay, here's my currency. I got to decide how big I want to trade it. I'm going to trade it different than you. You know why? Because I know that this works probably a little better than you do. So you're going to trade maybe 10 cents a pip where I might do $10. You want to know something? So what? Okay, so what? It's the same rate of return. You understand that? Pick your rate of return, buy the currency. Now you're in the market. What do you do when it's time to sell? You come up here, you click the big red one. That part's easy. You'll get used to that. You can show your kids how to do it. It's awesome. Okay, but you got to have the courage to push the button in the first place. Now, how do you have the courage? Well, it's not about looking at all the money you're going to make. Most of you are looking at this. You know what? You're not even looking up here. What do you mean? I know where you're looking. You're looking down here because you're thinking, Joe, you know, it sounds real good. But what if it doesn't work? What if this doesn't work? Does my money fall off a cliff or something? Because I'm not interested in that. I don't blame you. So what you're going to do, okay, with this trade, before you go pushing the button, okay, what you're going to do is place a stop order so you can build a floor under it, a stop order. So you can build a floor under your trade so you're not risking the whole amount. You risk a fraction of it. If it goes against you, it's not a big deal. Okay, you take a small loss, you move on to the next trade. Does this work every time? I already told you that it doesn't, but you have a stop loss to protect your downside. Here's what it looks like. Okay, ready? Stop loss. Boom. Now guess what? You're protected. And you're protected 24 hours. That's a big difference. Okay. Stock market, you put a stop loss in, guess what? Market closes, Apple makes a bad announcement, stock drops 20 points after market. What can you do about it? Nothing. Well, I have a stop in, so what? The market's closed. The soonest you can make a move with that is the next day, and by then it's too late. Stop or no stop in the stock market. Here, your stops protect you round the clock because this market is open round the clock. Do you understand that? You don't even have to be there. Okay? Shut off your computer. You're protected. Go to the grocery store. You're protected. Go get a cup of coffee at Starbucks. You're protected. Okay? So the panic part of trading goes away when you're protected. Now, you're not going to put your stop just any place. You're going to put it in a place that makes the most sense. You're going to put it way up here at letter C. Letter C stands for conservative. What does a conservative trader want to do? It's pretty simple. They want to put their stop where they're risking as little as possible to make as much as possible. Does that make sense? Does that look like a good trade? We know which way we're going. We know we're going to get in. We know we're going to get out. We're protected. That's a good looking trade. You know what you got to do? You got to buy it. Now, if you're still not comfortable doing it, okay, what do you need to have? You need to have other buyers there with you, right? We all like to have company. Well, if I'm going to buy, I don't want to be the only one, because guess what that means? That means everybody else is selling, okay? I want to know that there's more buyers there. Well, I read the candles to figure that out. See how I read the candle? See how big this candle is next to this small candle? That's a big bullish candle next to a small bearish candle. You know what that's called? It's a candle formation. It's called a bullish engulfing candle. The bulls have taken over. Now, I know that by sight because I got a lot of experience. Okay, what if you don't have all that experience? I don't want you sitting there going, oh, I got to learn my candlesticks. No, there's a tool that does that for you now. It's called the candlestick tool. You want to know where the bullish engulfing candle is? You click on bullish engulfing candle. Watch what happens. Ready? 1, 2, 3, click. That's a bullish engulfing candle. So now you got buyers. Now you're protected. Now you got a target. Now you're on a Fibonacci. You want to see if it works? You go forward. 1, 2, 3 days. Look at that. Market's going up. Okay, it doesn't go straight up, but it's bouncing. 4th day, 5th day, look what happens. It goes right up and it kisses that line. See that? Kisses that line. Why? Because that's what it's supposed to do. Because this is a Fibonacci, A, B, C, D. So in 5 days, you made a couple of grand. You do that once a week, you make 100,000 a year. Guess what, gang? I just changed your life because you can do this with 2,000 bucks. And we'll teach you how to do it if that's something you want to do. Joe, I got to try it. Well, if you want to, most people, when they see what I just showed them, they at least want to try out our software. You know what you can do? Right? You don't have to wait for me because we're almost done here. If you want to give it a shot, there's 160 of you in the room. Usually when I show people this, they say, well, will you help me with it? Of course, I'll help you with it. This is not, here's your software, good luck. Okay. But if you want to get it on your desk and start messing with it before tomorrow night with Tyson, then you can do that. Okay. All you got to do is put your phone number in the chat box, put the word charts next to it. And if this is something you want to get on your desk and try out, I'll let you put it on your desk for 60 days. Okay. Before you have to make any kind of final decision on it. I'll let you try the thing out risk-free so that you can mess with it, see if it's something you even want to do. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you want to try it, Okay, give me a good way to reach you. Okay, good phone number in the chat box. Put the word charts next to it. At the end of this, we'll reach out. We'll dot a few I's together. Okay, but the key is now you know how to do it. The hard part's over. Hard part's over, gang. Okay, what do you mean? The hard part's over. The market just fell apart. The market just crashed. No, it didn't. Look at this. I want to show you something. Okay, because now you're a better trader. The market did not just crash. All that happened was the same thing that happened 1, 2, 3 times. You see this? The market finished the pattern, then it went down. New pattern. Then the market finished the pattern, went up, new pattern. What happens next? Market's not crashing, right? All it's doing, new pattern. A, B, C, D. Is that awesome? Okay. If you don't know how to do this, you got to learn it. If you want to be a serious trader, you got to know how to do this. You want to do it in a market that you can make serious money at, you do it in the Forex. You want to know why? Because all you're looking at now is candles. All you're looking at now is candles. Chart isn't so intimidating anymore, is it? Right? You're trying to figure out how it all works. Well, here, I don't think it's fair for you to come on and let me tell you about what's going on right now. How do you make money right now and not show you what's going on right now? Here's what's going on. Okay. And you've got a chart right here. Now, if you're a pro, right, you know how to read the chart. But if you're new, what do you have to say? Does that Fibonacci work? That's your first step. Let's see if it works. Just find a high price, A, low price, B. Okay, what happened here? The market rallied to a high price. What happened? It bounced off a red line. Does this really work? It should go to the red line, right? Well, you tell me, is that an accident? It's not an accident. Okay, it's a Fibonacci. Now, if you missed the first one, what do you got? You got something called continuation. You see this right here? We're below this trend line. Okay, so we've got continuation. What if I missed the first one? Well, let's say you missed the first one, but you pulled up your chart and you found this A and you found this B. Okay, draw that line. Watch this. High price A, low price B. What happens here? The market rallies to a high price. Boom. Guess what? It's bouncing off that red line, red Fibonacci. Where's it supposed to go? Red line, right? If it works at all, it's supposed to work all the time, right? It's not a formula if it's only occasional. It's a formula because it works. Well, does it work? Boom, goes right to it, A, B, C, D. Do you see that? What's happened here, though, all right, on the chart, is we've stopped going down. Okay, when you're below this trend line, you're in the sell zone. So you'd only be thinking about selling. You want to put yourself in a position to make money. If your direction is down, you're a seller. Okay, but when you break through into the buy zone, like we've done right here, we broke through that trend line. Now we're in the buy zone. Guess what? Your direction is up. You're a buyer. Now, what do you do with this? Don't guess. Don't guess. Joe, where do I put my A? Listen, you don't even need me for that because there's a smart tool that'll show it to you. Smart Fibonacci. Watch this. This is a cool tool. You click on that. You come down here to a low price. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, click. It draws it for you. It draws it out for you. And what happens here? Okay, low price A, high price B, market's pulled back down to a low price. Look what's happening now. We got a nice looking U-turn. Where are we going? Red to red. What's that price? 70.24. How did I know that? Because I did this trade today. Okay, 70.24 is my target. I'm at 67.62. So what does that mean? Well, let's get the math out here. You want people to show you how to make money? Let's quantify it. 70.24 is where I'm going. 67.62 is where I am. That's 262 pips. That thing goes to the red line. You're talking about 262 pips. Anybody else show you how to make $3,000 today? If they do, great. You listen to those people. Okay, the people that are complaining, oh, I don't know how to do stuff, they watch me one time and they say, boy, I bet I could do that. Try it. Because one lot traded here would be $2,600 against what? Joe, that looks like too much risk. What do you mean? Well, if your stop is at letter C, that's your risk. This is your reward. Looks like we're late to the party. I don't like that one, but look how quick you could make that decision, right? What we're going to teach you, okay, is how to do this very conservatively. Don't put your stop down here. Put your stop at the base of this U-turn. Okay, now what are you talking about? You're risking this little amount to make this big amount. Do you see what I'm saying? You know what that little amount is? 50 pips. Do you know what your reward is? 262. Why am I showing you that? Because you could do this trade on a 4-to-1 risk to reward. You could do it 5 times. You only got to be right once to make money. Look at this. If you lose the first time, okay, you lose the second time, okay, you lose the third time, and you lose the fourth time, you're down 200 pips. But if you get it right once, okay, guess what you're doing? You're making money, being right 20% of the time. I'm showing you that this keeps working a little better than that ratio, right? But even if it only worked half the time, you'd be killing it. This is what I can't wait to show you. Joe, it sounds too easy. Not up to me to decide. That's up to you to decide. Okay. But now you can analyze a chart in 30 seconds. I don't care which chart you pull up. My day traders want to see a day chart. So here's a 2-hour chart. You want to see how you're going to do this in 30 seconds now? You're going to use some tools that save you some time. Smart trend line. Go find a high price. Boom. There's your trend line. Extend that. Where are you? Well, this was the sell zone, but you're in the buy zone. So now this is not resistance. That same line is now support. Old resistance has become new support. You're going to learn about that. Does it work? Let's go find a high price A, low price B. Make sure it works before you risk a dime. You click on it up here, you say, okay, where's my letter C? Well, that's lined up with my Fibonacci, my 618. Well, if that's true, that should go down to the red line. Look where it goes. Is that a mistake too, that it goes right to it? A, B, C, D, come on. This is something you can do, because once you see the market now has broken above and you see that it works yet again, right? Red line. Okay, red goes to red. That's two more examples of something working. So now I've shown you 8, 9, 10. You don't need to see 58 examples to see something that works. If you're afraid, that's because you're not confident. And I could show this to you all day. You got to get it on your desk and try it. If you want to do that in 60 days, I told you that. Put your phone number in the chat box, because look what's happening now. Look what's happening now. We're still in the buy zone. So what do we got? We got low price A, high price B. This is happening, okay, while I'm talking. And the fact of the matter is, okay, we get that thing to make that push up to 114, 421. I mean, we're talking about serious money. That's something you have to do. You got to give yourself a shot at it, because this is our process. This is what we do. You want to load it up? Come on, I got to wrap this up. I'm over time by 2 minutes. Okay, you get an account open. You got the session tomorrow with Tyson. We're going to trade live every Monday through Friday. You save the date. You got a class coming up on the 31st, but you've got to tell me this is something you want to do. I can't do the first part. If you're interested in finding out more about this, you got to put your phone number in. Okay, I'll give you a tour of the place. We'll give you the details. We'll cover the questions. I don't have any more time. I'm out of time. Okay, and because I got to respect the next person. But if you want to get to step 6 with us, because I want you in the trading room, you got to take the first step yourself. Put a good phone number in the chat box. We'll talk when this is over. Okay, we'll talk about what, how much is it, this whole thing, right? There's all kinds of different ways you can get started. I got a couple of ways you could get this whole package for free. So I don't want you worried about money. I want you worried about learning something when you come to Investor Inspiration that you can change your life. So if that's something you want to do, here, let me tell you what to do. Okay, I'll put it right in the chat box. Put a good contact number, okay? And maybe you just type ABCD. That'll be easy to remember. That way I can tell who it was that saw this. If you want to ask some questions, you want to know about the trading room, let me get into Tyson's thing tomorrow. I'll let you do it. Those are opportunities I wanted you to see today. And I appreciate that you learned it. Could you tell that I'm enthusiastic about it? You know why I'm enthusiastic about it, gang? Because I know what this can do. I'm inspired to show it to you. Okay, if this is the thing that gets you over the hump, that's exciting for me to have been able to show you. So I was glad that you gave me a chance to do it. Investor Inspiration gave me a chance to do it. To get started, you got to put your phone number in the chat box. That's it. All right, do that. And listen, I want you to hear from the next couple of people too. All right, so we'll reach out at the end. Okay, and if you want to see some testimony, you want to see some third-party stuff, we'll give you that. But so that I can move on, all right, and you can too, to our next great speaker, here's what I want you to do. Draw a deep breath. I'll give you another 10 seconds to put your phone number in that chat box.